with this insane stat that the Islanders finally broke 21 games into their season. But yesterday was, or 2 days ago, depending on when you're listening to this, was the first time the first time that they won a game where they scored less than 4 goals in a game. They were going into last night 7-0-1 when scoring 4 goals or more, and 0-8-4 when not scoring 4 goals.
That's bad on so many levels. It's good on another level, right? It's good that they can actually do like score more than 3 goals because it feels like they can't. But goddamn, that is not encouraging at all. Like, you have to outscore your problems, and that's not okay. That is not a functional hockey team.
No, especially when you're 26th in the league for goals. Like, that's not really. You don't want to be a team that like needs to win a game with scoring 4 goals, which I guess is kind of ironic too when you think about it, because they have this really good goalie duo. Yeah. So like you have the goalie duo, but you need 4 goals a game to win. I don't know. The math isn't mathing here.
No, it comes down to special teams, right? We spoke about it in the last show when you allow a penalty or a power play against, like two times a game, they're going to score in half of them probably. Mm-hmm. That's not good. That's already you've allowed one, and there's going to be flukes at 5-on-5. That's just going to happen. That's the nature of the game. So you're up to 2. Well, that's typically what you need to maybe not win a game, but it's pretty goddamn close. Hockey games are usually 1-3-2. You've already gifted on paper 2 goals to the opponent already. They just need one really good shot, and they've already won the game. So you now have to score 4 goals to win this thing, and as much as I love this team, as much as I think this team has potential, even I can't sit there and like they can definitely score 4 goals every night, all night. No, that's insane.
No, that is insane. Especially too, like with Ilya Sorokin, since he's come back and has kind of taken over as the starter, like he's put up pretty good numbers. He's a .917 save percentage, 252 goals against, which it might be a tick high, but not crazy off his career average. And Varlamov is a .903 and 260 goals against, which for a backup goalie, I think you take. As a team, .912 and 255. Like, that should be enough to win you games in the NHL, but it's not. They're just still, they're the meme. 21 games into the year, they're a flat 500, 8-5.
Yeah. You're right. So it's this inability to, I wouldn't say like outscore the problems, because they clearly could do it. They've done it like 7 times. It's not sustainable, which is one of the questions that we asked at the beginning of the show, or when we wrote out the prompt to get questions, was like, do you think it's sustainable? And I think anyone who reads that is going, no, it's just not. Without even factoring in the injuries to Matthew Barzal and Anthony Duclair. Even when you bring in those 2 guys back, it is not sustainable to try to win a game 4-3. That's not how you're going to be a successful hockey team at all. You've got to grind these things out to 3-2 victories, maybe 4-2 or more so on average, because you get a bunch of empty netters, which apparently we can score now. But it's just not sustainable, and it's not going to sustain us in the long run if we keep operating in this fashion. It's just not.
No, it isn't gonna sustain, which is something that we've talked through a lot already early on in this year. Is just like, can this work? Will this work? Sort of a thing with this team, and how they're playing right now. It doesn't feel like that's the case, but them, like, if we want a positive spin this, like them finally breaking that drought and winning a game, scoring 3 goals. Like, I don't know. Do we want to go the positive and be like, maybe that's what snaps them out of it? They're back on track now.
So yeah, maybe that's what snaps them out of it. Now we've seen that they can hold a lead once against a team that fired their coach the very next day. And they were not a very good team either to begin with. So I think I would take that with a grain of salt to be like, fixed, haha, check. Hey Pete. But I don't think that this is them being like, we've figured it out, we're able to do this. I would need to see a couple more, and I'm sure you feel the same way, right?
Yeah, I'm not gonna jump right back on the wagon after one win, which it was nice. It was good to win that game. It was good to win that game. It feels nice to win one. Like all those things, true, right? Not denying that, but it's not enough. They need to start stacking those, and they weren't really able to do that on the road, and it was a West Coast road trip. Like those are difficult to begin with. Yeah. But now, like, you come home and you have a relatively favorable schedule here coming up against teams at home that you might be able to take care of business of. You lost 2-1 to Detroit, but now you have Detroit in your own building. You have Boston, who's playing a little bit better now. They maybe got the new coach spark there, but it's not like they've had this great season. Then obviously against Washington on the road is going to be a tough game, but then you're back home against Buffalo.
Right. Winnable game for sure. As much as, Buffalo also kind of turning the tide a little bit here, that I think they've got 2 in the bank right now. But you're right. Now you can hopefully start stacking some points, but more so showing us that you can do so comfortably without needing to, again, outscore your mistakes. Ideally, you just don't make any of those goddamn mistakes. No. That's going to happen, right? Like, it's managing those mistakes, limiting them as much as possible, which is what any good hockey team does. They make mistakes, but they limit them, which is apparently not something that we can do right now.
No.
If you like that, make sure to subscribe to Up the Turnpike on Patreon for more exclusive New York Islanders content.